Well, welcome back to Donington Park for this resumption of racing this afternoon at this 750 Motor Club Championship Finals race meeting. It's the Tagiwa Roadsports Series 45-minute race with mandatory pit stops and, in many cases, driver changes as well. This is how the grid is going to line up. On pole position, it's going to be the number 25 Cupra of Darren Ball, and besides him is the number 117 BMW Compact of Ian Jones. On the second row, it's number 1 Scott Parkin in the Audi TT, the only driver to win 2 races in Roadsports this season. Something's trying to come out here at Donington Park for the first Roadsports race in nearly 2 months. Silverstone on the International Circuit in August was the last time out, and this the 6th and concluding race of the season. Josh Brown.
Yeah, that's right. She said earlier, I mean, loads of different winners this year. It's been a competitive season for Roadsports. Scott Parkin won at Croft and Silverstone, Chris Wyan won at Snetterton, Johnny Weston Taylor and Andy Heide won at Cadwell, and some a major one last time out at Silverstone. And that's just in the overall order. Look, the classes. Class B has been won by someone different every time. The only dominating driver in some ways has been Sam Dennis. He's won 3 of the 5 races in Class C, and very good season in Club Enduro, but that will come tomorrow. But it's in big grids all year as well, hasn't it, Ian? And we've got a full capacity grid here as well. With Chris Webster, he said, came a reserve when the car broke in qualifying. I'm afraid something's gone very wrong for the MGZR of 104 Mark Purcell. It looks like it's been off, and now it's cooked the engine. Yeah, and it's reversing, fortunately, behind the barrier, but there's telltale grass on the circuit like it's been off into the barriers. 4 classes: Class A, Super GT, with cars up to 300 brake horsepower per turn. Class B, the GT class, up to 240 brake horsepower. Class C, the Super Sport class, up to 180 brake horsepower. And Class D, the Sport class, up to 145 brake horsepower per turn. The red lights are on the gantry, but the safety car is still out because of that incident that's happened. So we are going to have another lap behind the safety car. The clock has started to count down. So the 45-minute race is underway, but the car's still behind the safety car because that is Mark Purcell. There is another car behind the Tid Marshall Webster Janetta in the pit lane. Just trying to see which car that is. That's another car that we set for a pit lane start. Mark Burton, perhaps? Could be. It looked like a 2-digit number, which is about as much as I could give you. That's another car that didn't. Well, he didn't qualify 25th, so I'm not sure. We've got onboard camera here with car number 6, Ryan Parkin, who is 35 today. So happy birthday to Ryan, as obviously is his twin brother Scott. I was going to say, let's not forget Scott in all of that. And Scott is up there on the second row of the grid, Ryan a bit further back on row 5. Ryan driving solo today was in the programme to share with Dylan Rickson. We've also lost from car 19. James Pickford's no longer driving that. Car 28 is no longer entered. We've lost 117, Martin Gadsby, so Ian Jones is driving solo. We've gained some drives as well. White 3, Edward Cook starting that car alongside Stephen Cook. 2-1, Luke Browse now starting that car with his father Paul taking over further on. We've got one more entry complete, which is the number 22 car, which is there and Maximus Bicknell and BMW as well. That is the way that the programme looks. We've had a few changes to the programme, but a very big grid, more than 40 cars we had, though not being one of them being started by Mark Purcell. Interesting to see that Dave Connell and Alex Wilkinson Hughes are out there, but now in a Mark 4 MX-5. They had a big crash, did they not, at Silverstone last time out in Roadsports, and they're debuting a Mark 4. You'll see that back to shot the red later model Mazda MX-5. So as you say, the race has begun officially, although we are still under controlled conditions. A great mix of cars this is, isn't it, as they come up to the top of the hill there. We've got TTR specification cars. You've got the BMW Compact on the front row of the grid, that car that Martin Gadsby has developed. Ian Jones driving it today, very rapid indeed. The lap times in qualifying perhaps not as tight as we normally get because of the tricky conditions we've got today, and those conditions I don't think are any less tricky at the moment. If it stays like this, whether the track will dry during the course of this 5-minute duration, we will see. But there's a huge variety of cars. You've got the Audis, the parking, you've got the BMWs, all got all sorts of models, including the M2 that's near the front, that Andy Shaw's qualified in 5th place, and then further back, Hondas, Renaults, Volkswagens, Lotuses. So yeah, it's a fantastic entry, as always, from Roadsports, and it's going to be a great way to end the season.
So we've got 42 minutes left on the clock. We're going to get the race underway. This time safety car lights are out, and so there's about 41.5 minutes left on the clock before the safety car pulls in. Off and racing. In fact, already the green flag and green light panels are showing, but you can't overtake before the timing line.
The red lights are still on.
Red lights are still on the gantry, so it should be side-by-side rolling start. Red lights are on, and they go out. Away we go then for 41.5 minutes of racing, and it's a good start by Ian Jones in that BMW Compact. He slots in front of Darren Ball in the number 25 Seat Cupra, and it's a side-by-side a bit further back. That's Will Beach alongside Scott Parkin. Scott Parkin in the Audi just prevailing ahead of the white and red and black Cupra of Will Beach. So they're turning their way through Hollywood, down through the Craner curves for the first time, and Ian Jones in that BMW Compact is already pulling out a few car lengths over Darren Boyle in second place.
Yeah, one of the oldest cars on the grid then leads the way. There's the M2 which has been started by Matthew Hampson. He's got Ryan Parkin on the outside. The Class B leading Honda has come through really well. Was that Will Puttergill that started? No, it was Chris Nyland who started. Big slide there from Darren Ball as he was braking between Schwarzkopf and McLean. But yeah, that Honda leading Class B, making great progress on this opening lap by Chris Nyland. But Dan Sylvester's Honda having his first outing in Roadsports this year. Going with him a change for the lead at Coppice. Darren Ball, who almost lost the car just 2 corners earlier, takes the lead at Coppice. It's all entertainment. He's lost the lead again.
He has on the exit of the corner. Ian Jones has gone back through in that number 117 BMW, but he's got that big Seat looming up behind him of Darren Ball, and then it's Scott Parkin, number 1, in 3rd position. A few lengths further back behind these two, who are herring their way down the hill. The sunshine glinting off the cars now, which is a pleasant sight to have here at Donington. They turn their way through the Melbourne hairpin. These two looks like we could be in for a good battle between them. We'll see if Scott Parkin can get involved in this as well. Looks like it's still Will Beach in 4th position in the number 82 car. We'll pick up what's going on in the classes as well as this race goes on. Big
slide again there for the leader. Change, where's Ian? Oh, Ian Jones is right there, isn't he? Ahead again. As you mentioned, you couldn't see him for a moment, but it is Jones that leads. Second then is Ball, third is Parkin. Will Beach having his Roadsport, first Roadsports out in this year. They're in 4th position. Colin Gillespie up next in 5th. Sylvester's got the Class B lead back away from Chris Nyland, I noticed, so that's going to be another battle to monitor during the course of this race. But it's a super impressive development, this E36 Compact, isn't it? A 1990s car. Standard would make 150 odd brake horsepower, but this one produces in excess of 300 per tonne. And it's driven really well by ex-Compact Cup front runner Ian Jones.
A 3.2 litre engine aboard this BMW. 25 then Darren Ball behind him, a more sort of purpose built, as it were, for this purpose racing car, developed in the way that BMW has been. These two have pulled out a decent gap, haven't they? Scott Parkin in 3rd and Will Beach in 4th. There's another gap back to Colin Gillespie, who's there in 5th. Ryan Parkin trying to make a move possibly on Luke Browse. Market glass car for 6th position in the background as well. Those two more or less side by side. Now they're not quite as they come down to the Fox Yes, but Ryan Parkin is thinking about looking at the inside into the first element of the Fox Yes, but decides better of it. It's going to be tricky, you would think, to make a move in that part of the circuit in these conditions. Turn their way out of Melbourne hairpin again. The top 4. Jones, Ball, Parkin and Beach making their way up. It was Dan Sylvester that was leading in Class B. Class C was being headed by Sam McKee in his BMW E36 328, and he was the best of those cars. It's the Cogswell Nissan Almera that's the best of the Class D cars at the moment. So we're working now lap number 3 of the race, and it's Ian Jones leading the way.
1 minute 50, which is actually slightly quicker than he went in qualifying this morning. But slower than Darren Ball did, so they're roughly on those qualifying times. Good battle of the third then between Scott Parkin, who is 35 today, ahead of Will Beach, the driver who's been racing in TTDI UK in that car, but driven by Colin Gillespie today, the Volkswagen Golf. who has Luke Browse in the Stowmarket class. Cooper all over the back, and he twitches sides in towards the old hairpin, but can't make a move. Luke Browse has been driving this car well this season, the Suffolk driver. Then Ryan Parkins dropped away a little bit. Then Graham Crowhurst returning to 750 Motor Club racing today. He won this equivalent race last year. He did 8th.
So here's the battle going on for 5th position. That is the Golf, Capture Motorsport Golf, up against the Stowmarket class. Browse car back into the lead of Class B has gone the Chris Nyland and Will Puttergill on Civil Type R ahead of the Dan Sylvester car.
Here they are.
Just into shot now. There is, you can see Sylvester's car, the older Honda. That's Chris McCloy car from Hot Hatch. Here is this battle going on for 5th and 6th position. Looks like Ryan Parker has sort of reattached himself to the back of these two. Must have made a small mistake, just dropped back a little bit. Seems to have got back on terms now with Colin Gillespie 150 and Luke Browse number 221.
Challenge down into the hairpin, much late on the brakes is Luke Browse, and he looks like he'd brake perfectly there, didn't he, on the limit, but he got the car turned in. Front wheel drive cars then scramble for grip out of the corner, and is this going to give Gillespie a chance to fight back in the Williams Motor Company liveried Golf? Around the outside he tries to come, can't get there. Gillespie's driven a huge amount of different cars over the last few seasons, hasn't he, in various 750 Motor Club categories. Out in the Golf for the first time today. Lead is still Ian Jones, but Darren Ball chasing him now through Hollywood. The gap to 6 tenths of a second. Ball was a fraction quicker on the previous lap. The BMW Compact leads the Cupra. Gap back to Scott Parkin, who is in 3rd spot, ahead of Will Beach, and a much larger gap has developed to the 5th place car there, 2:21. Luke Browse, who's now pulling clear of Colin Gillespie after passing him just a few corners earlier.
Yeah, but he's already 7.5 seconds behind the car in front, which is Will Beach. He's got a little bit of time to make up, because we do have the penalties that have to be served by many of these drivers in the pit stop, so that those could well come into play as well as the race goes on.
Doesn't affect the top two in the race though, so this close battle between Ian Jones and Darren Ball is one that really should be unaffected in that pit stop period. They don't have to change drivers either. Looking in the background there, the Class B lead is still going the way of Chris Nyland, but Dan Sylvester was chasing after him. So that's 1 and 2. I think Class C is still the same. Sam McKee's got a good lead over Sam Dennis, which is a very impressive feat, because that Honda Civic of Sam Dennis has won every racing club enduro this year, but Sam McKee in the wet conditions 7 seconds ahead.
Yeah, that's right. So Sam, who was out last weekend at Mallory Park in the Magic 7s, although that didn't go entirely to plan, just after his engagement as well. Congratulations to Sam. It's just over a week ago now. We've got 34 minutes of the race left to go. Down on another fast lap of the race, so as conditions improve, the times are coming down. The 1 minute 50 barrier has now been broken, 1:49.335 for the car in 2nd place, and the gap has come down to 57 hundredths of a second. There is the Class B leader going through, the number 83 car, but not desperately far ahead of Chris Nyland, but trying to make up a place on the car from the class ahead, which is the 69 car, but that in a straight line doesn't really work, does it? Because Matthew Hampson on a straight line able to pull away a little bit from the Honda.
Notice there were some dry patches appearing on the circuit as they came past us. So that, if the conditions stay like this, should continue throughout this race. So perhaps the lap times will continue to come down. So there's Hampson in that M2, a car that's built by BMW Motorsport, raced in Italy over the last couple of years, but it's been shipped to the UK by Matthew Hampson, and only shoots to race this year. Big challenge for 7th. Ryan Parkin versus Graham Crowhurst, the Audi TT and the BMW M3. I think the only M3 on the grid, isn't it, today for Graham Crowhurst. So they turn their way into Coppice Corner.
And the spinner in the background.
It's Claire Norman, I think, in the Cupra, isn't it, out of 12. And there she is.
That's unfortunate, because that seems to be grabbing the planes and the marshals, as you can see. Fantastic work as ever from the marshals, heading down there to try and see if they can get that car moved without the intervention of a snatch vehicle or a recovery vehicle. That would be the ideal to have the most chance of getting the race continuing without any disruption.
And an interruption soon would be a pit stop frenzy time, I think. Yes. We're 2.5 minutes away from the pit window, so we'll see what happens there. Lap traffic has begun. I think we think the BMW 116 has been lapped of Andy Bicknell, and we're about to lap Martin Borger's Toyota, who's having his first ever race today. He's not far though, I don't think, behind the Class D leading car, the Cogswell Nissan. You can see it just come in across the line. It's been lapped, so there's a Lotus off the road at 2:58. Michael Watson in his Lotus Elise up down the Craner Curves. He has rejoined.
Yeah, so that's briefly off the road and back into the race, which is good to see. So we've got 31 minutes and 45 seconds on the clock. Pit lane will open in just a couple of minutes' time then. That's the 55 car. From the back of that, I think with Matt Creed. Yes, that's Simpson and Stanton battling with Matt Creed in the two different classes, Creed and Class B car, the BMW from Class A. Meanwhile, this battle for 6th place continues. Ryan Parkin against Graham Crowhurst. So that's certainly one that we'll keep an eye on, and it's Crowhurst now that is ahead in that BMW 3. Fantastic livery on it that he's put a lot of effort in. And yeah, that's the Norman car, the Seat there, just at the back of shot, just turning its way through Poppy's corner. That was the car that was off McLean's. So good news there, Josh, that's out of the gravel trap. You can see no car in the gravel trap, that's McLean's. Great work for the marshals, thank you very much for that. Let's continue our race.
Yeah, I didn't think that would be possible because they're not like cars nowadays, these machines. But yeah, you can see Claire Norman, who's been racing for the 1050 Red Cup this year with Alan Blenko. They'll be out tomorrow as well in the final round of Club Enduro. The result's not going to come from this race, but it's good. The car is out, as you say, out of the gravel, because that means we can carry on racing, which is good news in all of that. Janetta G40 goes a lap down. That's David Griffith, who's purchased that car recently from Maiden Hills. Seen the Roadsport crew run that car in Roadsports previously, but David Griffith's having his first outing in it today. Just going to lap down to Ryan Parkin in the Darkside Audi. 310 brake horsepower car. We can ride on board with it to see how we lap Janetta.
Yeah, you're going to do it, I think, on the way into the Melbourne hairpin. Get a very good view, sight-up view of Graham Crowhurst's BMW, so we can admire the livery of that car. But it is a bit of a distant spec now, isn't it, for Ryan Parkin, who is heading up towards the hairpin at Gardner. Now, the pit lane window is now open with 30 minutes, just under 30 minutes still on the clock. Is he going to go in? We'll find out when he goes in at that time.
So, continues on his way after 6 laps of racing. Ian Jones now pulling clear from Darren Paul, 2.4 seconds the gap, despite Paul being fractionally quicker on best times. Scott Parkin is third, 4th is Will Beach, 5th is Lucas Brown, 6th is Graham Crowhurst after moving ahead of Ryan Parkin on that lap. Still Chris Nyland, who leads Class B by 1.3 seconds from Dan Sylvester, and Liam Crilly is third. Then Sam McKee leads Class C from Sam Dennis in second, and in third is Kiefer Del Piero. And then Class D is being led by Stephen Cogswell with Martin Auger behind. What's happening here though?
Class B buttons about to come over the crest of the hill at Coppice. There you can see Chris McCloy in the number, what number is he? The not Chris McCloy, the ex-Chris McCloy car, Dan Sylvester 37 car, just behind the Nyland and Pettigill car. Not a lot to choose between them. They're right behind Matthew Hampson as well, so it's 63 and 37, the two leaders in Class B at the moment, and it is just, sorry, 83 I should say, and it is just the Chris Nyland car that is ahead. There's a bit of traffic for them to deal with that time as well. These two running in 10th and 11th position overall. The Hampson car is in 9th place, and they're putting a lap there on the number 144, Richard Longdon, E3603. So there's a good going through.
Yes, there is, absolutely. They're not able to get past Hampson, which might just be costing Chris Nyland some pace. Chris, who was a championship contender in the Type R Trophy a couple of seasons ago, out in this Motorsport Honda that will be contesting the Club Cup title in Club Enduro tomorrow. I think that was Claire Norman, which has got peeled off in the background. We've also had the cook, Sirocco, has pitted, but most staying out at this stage.
Do you reckon it's some waiting, so there's going to be a safety car maybe in the next few minutes before they make it to that next stop?
I think that might be an idea. Not necessarily that it will actually gain you advantage, because you could get held at the end of the pit lane if you time it wrong. There's a great battle then between these two different Honda Civic generation cars. Dan Sylvester did return to Hot Hatch a few weeks ago in Alton Park, where he took a couple of victories. But I don't think he's done huge amounts of racing this year. Maybe an MR2.
Did MR2s at Croft and got airborne there at Tower Corner in the second race. Raced over the back of title contender Adam Lockwood's car, which was a dramatic departure from the race. He was the one that's really close, I think, which was a guest effectively that weekend.
Although I think he's doing it tomorrow as well.
Yeah, so I'll check. I'll tell what the situation is with points for tomorrow, because that could be important to the MR2 Championship conclusion. But meanwhile, we've still got the Roadsports race going on here. Class B lead still being contested by the same two cars.
Ian Jones from the lead has pitted, while Darren Ball spin the first drive against 148s today to set the aim shot for Tom Fastest lap.
Will Beach also into the pits, you can see as well.
So there is the Claire Norman changeover to Alan Blenko. Alan Blenko, who raced the British Touring Car Championship in the production class 20 years ago or so. There is a drama. Perhaps Alan Blenko was expected to take over just yet, because he hasn't put his gloves on while in the car. Obviously, we saw that car in the gravel earlier on. So an early changeover. They'll perhaps be hoping for some better weather conditions tomorrow. And of course, it should happen, I think.
Yeah, of course, it is a 60-second stop here that they have. Not like in the Enduro tomorrow, where they have 3 minutes for the field as well. But definitely, that's a little bit more of a relaxed stop potentially tomorrow. So back into the race goes Alan Blackhead, from the Strong Car Championship driver. And now well down the order after that Carlos train from the best part. Well, I think still some gravel being shaken out now as continues to circulate.
I think that was a 2-minute pit stop, just to show that that wasn't expected to be perhaps in when it was. But into the pits, as we said, Ian Jones, that's I guess the more important one to keep an eye on. Oh, there's another car off, and it is the car we were talking about earlier, the Mark IV MX-5 Alex Wilkinson Hughes. However, the MX-5 is obviously a half-decent rallycross car. Can he get out on the gravel? But he's trying to find a space in the traffic is the other problem, of course.
And there's a lot of it. There's the MR2, the 27th short trailer. He's out tomorrow to try to wrap up his first championship in the MR2 in a Roadster. And he's just behind the number 7 car, which is the Edward Rutherford at Daniel Perridge in FG 40 GT5.
I reckon Ian Jones's pit stop from pit in to pit out, so it includes more than obviously just the mandatory minutes for stopping, was 1 minute 39. So that is something for Darren Ball to try and gain some time on, if there is any time to be found.
Yeah, so yeah, there's Trainer, just talking about him, and he is being, this is going to be lapped, isn't it, by the number 69 car, Matthew Hampson, also the Class B leader as well, which is still 83, which is kind of.
Chris Arden got caught out there, don't let the car go in the pits in front of him. That's given Dan Sylvester a chance to draw alongside in this Class B lead battle, and Sylvester has made the most of it, carried the momentum out the corner, which Nyland wasn't able to do. I think he was on the inside of the BMW, which needed to come into the pit lane, so Nyland had to get out of the throttle, and that has lost him the Class B lead. And just wondering if they haven't, neither of these cars have won in Class B before, so there's a good chance that we could have 6 different winners in Class B in 6 races. This year Sylvester goes wide, he's up the curb, and that's going to give a chance for Nyland to fight back here as they head up the hill through Schwartz Curve and towards McLean. So a great battle in Class B, but Sylvester has held on for now.
Yeah, just a lap 16 car as well, which is the John Peerless Type R from Class C, which was having dramas in qualifying. And having another drama there, it's had a big moment. So Peerless has got to put it back in the right direction again. But that is that's
Liam Crilly, but the lap on him. He's not far behind the top 2 in Class B. Liam Crilly, yet another driver who's not won in Class B this season. So there's a very good chance we're going to have 6 winners in 6 races in this class. It just shows you how competitive it has been. Okay, not everyone does every race, but quite a lot have done multiple races, but no one's been able to win it twice.
You saw Andrew Cooper in the 413 Honda Civic being lapped there as well. Now, different leader in Class B, and as you say, the Z4 Coupe of Liam Crilly closing on. He's gone past Andrew Cooper now as well. Start the climb back up towards Goddard's with 22 minutes left in the race, 22.5, so a exactly at halfway distance, 7.5 minutes till the pit window closes, and off has gone Matt Creed there in the number 23 Clio, which was well positioned.
Got a long way off at the Melbourne but yeah, that's probably the best it's gone this year, isn't it, Matt Creed? I think so. Got a supercharge on the car this year. He was running 4th in Class B, but just had a big trip through the gravel of the Melbourne Loop, but I think has been able to redo it.
Still quite a lot of drivers yet to make their stops. We've got an interview in the pit lane. Let's head down to Matt Sutton, who's going to talk to him. Matt, so race continuing. It is Dan Ford that's yet to make his pit stop. Number 25 that's still leads. Number 1 Scott Parker in second. 221 Luke Brown is third. 15 Graham Provost is fourth. And it's 150 Colin Gillespie. 37 Dan Sylvester is sixth overall and still leads in class, but all of those yet to make their stops. The Ryan Parkin in the pits at the moment, you can see, and also the Federico Shepherd. The next car has made its stop. 150 car on the screen now. Is that of Colin Gillespie, Volkswagen Golf, and here's a fifth inch Josh.
Brian Parker's pit stop is probably quite long at the moment. For him, he's headed out now, but 1 minute 59. So that is a bit longer than Ian Jones. It was 1 minute 30 long, so he's lost 20 seconds, I believe.
And there was no pedals that he had to say, we'll just check that as well.
Assuming this data that I'm receiving is accurate. But it did feel like that car was in the pit lane a bit longer than maybe it should have been. So this is Andy Schulz now in 69, isn't it? He's taken over from Matthew Hampson. Schulz, who's 56, started racing in 1989 and was a 750 Motorsport Formula 4 champion some years ago. So good to have Andy Schulz over these last few years back with the 750 Motor Club. And very experienced racing over GT cars in recent years. This BMW M2, so no, I think. Transported over from Italy in the winter. Factory BMW Motorsport built car, mainly for racing at the Nürburgring. And you can see it's got its Nürburgring Ravenel number board on that car still. John Pearce said that he had a few dramas in that first stint.
Matthew Stenning getting into that car now for the second part of the race. You can see also next to it the Luke Rouse car. Paul Rouse will be taking over the number 221 Stowmarket Glass car. Isn't it?
Okay. Lots of cars coming in now, including Chris Nyland in 83. Dan Sylvester has carried on in their Class B battle. Their best laps, perhaps unsurprisingly, considering how close they were, just 6,000 of a second difference, Chris Nyland and Dan Sylvester. Obviously, Nyland has to hand over to Will Buttergill, so it'll be a different driver in. Dan Sylvester will be staying in the car.
Yes, that just makes things a little bit easier, doesn't it? Less to go wrong, less times per second there.
Just saw Tom Stanway there, driving his local circuit from Derby. It's a BMW 328i, just come out the pit lane. There is Ryan Parkin, who has rejoined down in 23rd, so that does sort of suggest it was a long pit stop. Whereas Ian Jones is 10th and just set the fastest lap at 1 minute 47.4, over a second faster than anyone's done so far. Yeah,
the track is visibly drying out now, isn't it? You can see that. I mean, the record for these cars for context is a 140.40 set by Josh Lawson. That's Scott Parkin's not even faster. 147, 149. He's second at the moment, yet to make a stop. But Darren Ball is now into the pits. The race leads number 25. Darren Ball into the pits in the Cupra. There's quite a few cars coming in now. There's not many more opportunities. There's 17 and a quarter minutes left to go. Mark Burton, you can see driving into pit lane, as well as the bounce coming out. You just saw on the right hand side of the shot there. The Class B lead protagonist, which is now going to have been taken over by Will Puskett.
It might be ahead of Andy Shaw. Some of those cars were battling on the circuit before the stops. There is our new race leader. In reality, Scott Parkin with Darren Ball in the pits and the fastest lap, as you mentioned, Ian. So Scott Parkin motoring on his birthday, the driver from South Yorkshire, who's only been racing since 2019, but he's had lots of success in that time. Last year's Club Enduro champion, this year's Provisional Class A champion in this new car to him this year, the ex-Slide Sports Volkswagen Racing Cup built car, the 2017 Audi TT, but now with a diesel engine in from Darkside development. So there's our Class C leader, Sam McKee, in the pit lane in his BMW. You can see all the trophy stickers on the car to show how many times that car has won races over the last few years. And he's hoping to add another gold sticker to that car after today, should the second sticker go well. So Scott Parkin's got to come in this time, because that is just a minute of the pit window left.
That's right, so he should make his way down the pit lane this time. I can see number 3, Bespoke McCauley, his Class C is in, indeed number 1 car is in as well. And we need to get Dan Sylvester in as well, don't we, at this lap. And also the Sam Dennis car, the Class C front runner. Those cars all yet to make their stops.
This is showing Darren Ball's pit time, pit in to pit out, was 1 minute and 1 second.
Okay.
Which is either incorrect information or there could be a problem overhanging that car. So we'll see where he comes out in comparison to Ian Jones. If he's a long way ahead, I wonder if the regulations have been read wrong by that team.
Yes, well, we'll have to see how that pans out. There is the number 1 car, Darkside Developments Audi TT. Beautifully presented car, stealth looking thing. You can see the fans blowing to keep the air cool, engine cool in the pit stop. Water bottle's been handed over. Scott's refreshed himself and will be back out into the race any moment. Pit window now closed. Confirmation coming up on the screens as well for all of the teams. It looks like everyone has made it into the pits eventually, which is good. Just a question mark, as Josh was saying, about the length of one of 2 of the pit stops. I'm sure the teams downstairs will be timing the stationary times in the pit stops as well. There's
Darren Ball. He's going to cross the line ahead of Ian Jones, with Ian Jones nowhere in sight. So that would sort of back up potentially the data. Well, the gap is 7.6 seconds, so it's only a much bigger gap, despite Ian Jones setting the fastest lap. So yeah, we'll let the timekeepers and the officials check the real times rather than the unofficial times.
So that's 3 minute 14 lap, effectively, that he's done compared to sort of 1:48, let's say, for the quick lap. So that's only a 1 minute. That's about a 1 minute 30 seconds.
No, I don't believe this data.
Yeah, okay.
Because Scott Parkins is showing something different as well. Either way, though, Ian Jones has lost time in that period because he's behind both Darren Ball and Scott Parkin. But yeah, I think that data that I would speak about is incorrect. So GSL will look at the real data and the timekeep and the officials downstairs time in the pit stops will check that too. Either way, Ian Jones has lost time in the pit stops. And Scott Parkin, of course, had a 5-second longer stop, did he not?
He had a penalty to serve.
So, Ian Jones has lost time. Scott Parkin has gained time, but Darren Ball has come out best of all. He's in the lead.
He was on pole position, of course, Darren Ball this morning. Did a 1:49.585, so has now managed to go a couple of seconds faster. But the new fastest lap of the race has gone to Andy Schultz at 1:46.973. Andy in 8th position overall in that number 69 car. And he has just gone fastest of anyone by a little bit of a margin as well. We'll see if he can make up more places. He wasn't too far behind Colin Gillespie at the start of the lap. And so that's a possible move that could be made there. As we're watching Darren Ball, the de facto race leader, just lapping the Tom Stanway BMW there. As into the pits come number 6, Ryan Parkin is in the pit lane from 12th position.
We were pretty sure his pit stop was long, weren't we? And so perhaps that was a problem with that car. But here's the gap then, 4.2 seconds between ball and parking, with a further 3 seconds back to Ian Jones. So that is the chase between our three protagonists in this race. And yeah, there's Ryan Parkin, that car's in the garage and out. So I'm sure Matt will be on the case to find out what's going on there. Interestingly, they're putting fuel in, are they not?
That's possibly so. To get the class situation, Class B, we just need to. It's been led by Dan Sylvester.
Got to wait for him.
So we've got to wait for him to cross the line again. He was one of the last to make his stops. So we'll see if he's still in the lead of Class B.
Class C, Sam McKee has come through ahead of Sam Dennis. So
What's the gap there?
Big, I think. Sam Dennis yet to take the go across the line. He was behind anyway, and I had no pit penalty deserved. Oh, he did, didn't he? 15 seconds probably right to the line. So that would go out more. So yeah, I think Sam McKee got a very convincing lead in Class C, and then in Class D, that is still the Cogswell, 24 seconds ahead. So they look good there as well. So really Class A is up for contest. Class B, across the line, Dennis Sylvester is 11 seconds ahead of Liam Priddy, who's now ahead of William Puttergill. So a bigger gap now in Class B as well.
Yeah, that's opening up. Class B, 11 minutes of the race left to go. That's the number 9 car you can see. And some typography for Del Piero and Ethan Simmons. There's the number 1 car, that's the car in second place for Scott Parkin, already a double winner this season in the TTDI Motorsport series. The only driver to have won more than once overall this season. New fastest lap to Ian Jones now, 1:45, 1:75 in third place. He's got the gap down to pretty much 2 seconds now to Scott Parkin. He was just about a second faster than Parkin on that lap, but they're all of the first 4 doing personal best lap times. Now the top 4, by the way, is Ball, Scott Parkin, Jones, and now Graham Crowhurst, number 15 in the BMW 3 and 4th.
Here's the chase on our screen. There's Ian Jones, but Parkin in turn was a full second quicker than Darren Ball. So they're all closing up, still with 10 minutes of this race to go. So this is a real chase between these top 3, just 5 seconds between them, and the fastest is the one at the back of the group. Meanwhile, just looking back at local man Tom Stanway there, one of the Class B runners, getting all sideways. That was quite exciting. And he is a little bit further down. But he was getting a position, that was the position. He just passed on Monday for 5th in Class B, so that was a good move. And he just has set the fastest lap in Class B as Tom Stanway, so he's enjoying these dry conditions as off. The Class B contender Will Puttergill there. Is that a problem with the Motion Honda, which, if it is, a drama for the team overnight to fix that for tomorrow's Clubman Cup Championship decider in the Club Enduro Championship?
Yeah, indeed. So there is Darren Ball then, and we've got the 3 leaders pretty much all in the same shot now. Darren Ball, number 25, Scott Parkin, number 1, Ian Jones, number 117. There's 5.4 seconds separating them at the top of that. Into the pits, but an unscheduled stop has come number 55, which is Richard Stanton at this stage of the race, but that looks like there's some issue with the car there as the race leaders are about to cross the line again. They do. Darren Ball completes the 17th lap, and the gap's going down to 2.2 seconds because first Scott Parkin and then Ian Jones successively do new fastest laps of the race. Ian Jones a 1:44.491.
Dan Sylvester's getting a 60-second penalty for a pit stop infringement. I suspect we've got cars off at the old hairpin again. It's the Dave Connell Mazda that's involved. Someone else had to go gravel trapping, but a big drama for our Class B leader, Ian.
Yes, absolutely right. 60-second penalty. Just not looking to put the notification of exactly what that's for, but I can't see anything on the time screen. I can't see anything in my WhatsApp group as well, where I might find these things out. So that's a big problem for Dan Sylvester. That's going to promote Liam Crilly certainly into the lead in that race. Unless
the overall leader is between the 2 cars at the end of the race. So Will Puttergill went off into the gravel seemingly.
Yeah.
Whether he just drove into the gravel for no apparent reason, I'm not sure. But the marshals got the car out of the gravel. So again, great work from the marshals in this race. We're keeping green flag conditions. There's Graham Crowhurst, he's up to 4th, lapping a similar pace to the leaders who are turning through the S's. Darren Ball leading the way. He's got a lap to Mazda that had that spin a moment ago. He's got Parkin continuing to chase. Yes, he certainly is. That's less than 2.1 seconds back to the Audi. Got confirmation on our screens of the penalties. Also for number 16, the and 176, so that's different cars, isn't it?
Yeah, and I think both of those were put in not to be parked at a 45-degree angle. They were sort of parked parallel to the pit lane, if you like, and so that's what that would be. So that may well have been the case for Dan Sylvester as well. That's pitched outside the window for Dan Sylvester. So both he and the 27 car, which is Shaw Trainer, stopping outside the pit lane. There must have just been a momentary late getting into the pit lane. There's Sylvester now on screen, the class leader, number 37. It says A on his car, but he's shown as entered in Class B.
It's hot hatch class, isn't it?
Yeah, exactly. But that's a bit misleading. But he's a Class B entered car today, and he's got that penalty pinned over him.
So what he needs is the overall leaders to lap Liam Krillick, but not him, because that would mean he will have done one more lap. So despite the minute penalty, would keep him ahead. But that's certainly not guaranteed.
Michael Downey into the pit lane, you can see.
That was the car that got caught up in the Mazda spin at the old airport, went through the gravel.
So Dan Sylvester, the Class B leader, just heading down to airport, just checking in Class C. St. John's next to Sam McKee. He's still well clear of Sam Dennis in that class. So BMW versus Honda. 37 car though is slapping the Mazda, that's the MR2 here.
That's the car's second in Class D behind the Coswell Nissan. There's Mark Burton, who has been a Class B winner this year at Croft, but he hasn't featured in the sharp end. He's sixth in class today. He's battling with the Sirocco just behind, actually, for class position. It's now got Stephen Cook behind the wheel. You see that dry line that has developed. Andrew Cooper and Ben McCauley are together. Are they in a battle? I think they might be. Yeah, much further down the order than perhaps they would like. 5th and 6th within Class C. Ian Jones has just set the fastest up of the race. The top three are together. I don't think we can pick them up. I think they're at the first corner perhaps. Just 3/4 of a second between them, and Darren Paul and Scott Parkin were side by side, heading onto the Craner curves maybe at the moment. Here they are, Ian.
Yeah, they are, and we've got the three leaders together. We've got 5 minutes of the race left to go. This is a grandstand finish for a Saturday afternoon, and it's Darren Ball leading. It is Scott Parkin in second. Number one is 117. Ian Jones in third, but Ian Jones is the fastest one out there. The 1:43.034. Parkin's at a 1:43 as well, but Darren Ball's best lap is still only a 1:44. There's back markers ahead. That's first one is the Sam Dennis car, who's going well in Class C. Also the Downey Porsche, which is back into the race, having made a trip into the pits. That's the next car that they are going to have to lap. But they're lying astern as they go through Coppice Corner now, down the exhibition straight, past that Porsche they go, and different lines being taken through Coppice now. It's Jones who's almost picking up a double toe here. Can he make use of this down into the Fogarty Yeses? It's Scott Parkin as well that shows his nose up the inside of 25 down ball as well as they went into the Fogarty Yeses. But he gets a good run off the corner in the Audi to Scott Parkin, and he goes through to take the lead of the race. Can Ian Jones follow? Can Ian Jones pass both of them, in fact, as they head down there? Into the Melbourne hairpin they go, and it's the number one car that's now ahead, and Josh is going to be a run up the hill towards Scott to see who's going to be second.
It's an epic way to start the afternoon, isn't it, here at Donington Park? They are pretty much 3 cars across the circuit breaking for the final corner at Goddard's. They catch Matt Stenning's Civic, and they are still absolutely together, but then he jumps out the way. Everyone gets well out of the way of our top 3 leading cars. And Scott Parkin does lead, but Ian Jones is fighting back. He's on the dry line up towards Redgate. They almost touch. Ian Jones is desperate to win this. He comes right around the outside of Scott Parkin, wheel to wheel. The outside line for the BMW, that's sideways. The Audi, therefore, may be quicker off the corner, and it is. Scott Parkin leads there with a couple or maybe 3 laps to go. Round the outside comes Ian Jones into the Craner curve, but he's on the more slippery line here.
There's more traffic ahead from the lower classes. 176 has got a 1-minute stop go penalty now for pit stop in Finch. We'll pick up on that in a minute. We've got 3 leads together. Ian Jones is still the man with the fastest lap of the race. He's second in this race at the moment, just lapping the Wayne Lawson off the orange Audi TT as they go through McLean's. Heading up there now, Ian Jones looking up to find a way up on the inside of Coppice Corner. There wasn't really much of a gap there. Scott Parkin was determined to keep him behind, but Ian Jones, has he gone through? Let's see how it looks on the exit of the corner. They're still pretty much side by side. No, Ian Jones has gone through. He's gone through to take the lead. Scott Parkin second, Darren Ball third, and that penalty is the 176 car of Martin Olga in the MR2 Roadster.
Well, this is very entertaining, isn't it? We said that the Tagiro Roadsport Series, these tricky conditions, it could be an interesting race. It's turned into probably one of the best Roadsport races we've had, especially for that overall victory with a chase on. And Scott Parkin's fighting back. He's alongside. Jones is massively sideways out of the corner. They are door mirror to door mirror. The BMW's on the inside line, but is half a length back. But they're braked later on the tighter line. Is he going to reclaim the lead? We should squeeze 2 more laps out of this, Ian. And a massively sideways leading car.
And that will mean that he's probably going to... No, he's not going to lose the lead again unless Scott Parkin can use the momentum that he's got to go back down the inside into Redgate Corner, which he's going to try and do now. And they are overlapping there. No, Ian Jones just about holds on, but still on the inside is Scott Parkin. And I think he's going to get the lead back at Hollywood. It looks like he's got the nose, but there's another touch between them. That's 3 times now the main side-to-side contact in this race. And Jones is massively out of shape, and he's off. Off he goes into the gravel, bouncing over the edge of the gravel trap on the grass. The steam pouring out of the back of that car now, and Ian Jones's race is surely over.
Well, we thought that Martin Gadsby and Ian Jones would want this car to win a race. It so nearly did. Unfortunately, it's very broken now. And what a dramatic 30 seconds or so that was. It was probably more than that because they were changing positions before. Such a shame it ended in that way. We said how sketchy it was down the grain of curves if you were offline, and Ian Jones has found out to his cost, I'm afraid. And that means Scott Parkin leads the way with Darren Wall in second. Greg Crowhurst will come up into third. We should have 1 more lap at the end of this, but yeah, fully exciting racing for our win in the Roadsport Series between 3 so different cars. You had the touring car development, Cupra from Seat. You had sort of an Audi that was built as a race car but then converted into a diesel racer, and then a 1990s BMW that's got a big M3 engine in it, and yeah, 3 so different cars, but because of the Roadsports regulations with the power to weight races and otherwise fairly open rule set, that is all very much part of it. So are we going to get 1 more lap in?
24 seconds to go. Black flags being displayed by the marking finish line, so we're going to get 1 more lap here. That's Sam McKee that the leader is coming up to lap now.
In Class B, Liam Crilly is catching Dan Sylvester on the road. 6 seconds between them now, but Sylvester is still ahead, but with the penalty overhanging. Don't think he's been lapped yet by our leader, Scott Parkin. He's 4 seconds ahead of Darren Wall. So Ian Jones should end the race with fastest lap unless something changes, but that's not really going to be too much to cheer about, is it? But they're only 3 seconds away from the lap record in the end. Aren't they 140, I think you said?
Yeah.
So
conditions have considerably improved, haven't they, as this 45-minute race has gone on.
Here's Parkin, and there is Liam Crilly. So Liam Crilly must not get lapped if he wants to win Class B. It's going to be pretty tight.
Well, this is kind of what you sort of have been warnings about the last 10 minutes, John.
So Liam Crilly's team will have been going over to Scott Parkin's team at Darkside and telling them, don't lap us, we need to win this race.
It's going to be tight whether he does. Right, 78.4 second penalty for the Audi car now, so he's not made his stop go either. Right, so down towards Melbourne Hairpin for the final time goes the Darkside Developments Audi, the BMW Z4 Coupe of Liam Crilly is not far off the road. Now, they've only got 1 more corner to go now at Goddard. Is Scott Parkin going to think, well, I don't really need to lap this guy in the...
But remember who shared a car with him last year? It was Dan Sylvester.
And he's gone past him. And Crilly has been lapped, so it's going to be Scott Parkin that comes through to take his 3rd victory of the season in the Tagiro Roadsport Series race. 2nd place is going to go the way of Darren Ball, who led for quite a lot. He's got the fastest lap as well on the final lap. Scott Parkin as well at 1:42.882. What a very entertaining race that was, Josh.
There you go, Sylvester's across the line and wins Class B, despite being 2 minutes to 41 behind the overall leader. But yeah, massively entertaining way to end the season for Roadsports. It's been big grids all year, but a great race to end the season here for Roadsports. Here's the results.
Yeah, so Scott Parkin, the winner in car number 1, the Audi TT.
Yeah, we're down here with our race winner, Scott Parkin. Scott, a little bit of damage on your wheel there. We saw the close battle you had for the lead, which you got the win in, but that was close.
Yeah, a bit closer than I wanted. I don't mind there being like 3 mil gap, but we don't want to be touching if we can help it. I'm not quite sure what Ian was thinking then, but I'll speak to him after, see what he has to say. But yeah, very close towards the end. I could see that coming. Darren and Ian at the start, they were just gone, and I thought they must have a wet setup on the cars, or at least I think Ian's just not got a brain when it's in them conditions. So they were off, but I knew we'd gone on a dry setup, and I could tell that it were going to come to me. So I just hoped that there were enough time in the race for the conditions to come to me, and it did. Although I've just found out Graham took the fastest lap off me on the last lap, which is not very nice. So I'll have to have a word with him as well. But yeah, very close. Bit of a shame about the other car. We had fuel surge issues with the looks of it, so I think maybe the in-tank pumps damaged or not working, not too sure. So the guys are looking, but it's tomorrow that counts for that car, because we're hoping to seal second in the championship in that. So this was just a test. So
it was a great race though, one of the best Roadsports Series races we've had this year, so it must have been quite fun to be involved in.
Yeah, definitely. Like I say, I'd rather it not be as close as that, but these things happen. So yeah, fingers crossed we have a good race tomorrow as well.
Good stuff. Well, and Scott, you can have your winner's garland and your winner's hat now from James Winstanley. So that is that garland. Let's have a quick